Okay, Austin, here we go. Class number 2. So what I want to talk about now is what I like to call the fundamentals of doing an experiment per se. Okay? So if you'll notice, we've got 2 containers of soil. Okay, and as you can read, right, each one, okay, I'm telling you what each of these has. Okay, so for example, let's look at this one here. Okay, each glass beaker has 125 milliliters of soil. They both get equal sunlight. Inside of the soil, 2 seeds. This one here is only getting 5 milliliters of water, and this one on this side is getting 25 milliliters of water. Okay, now the experiment here is to measure plant growth. Okay, so let's talk about some vocabulary words first. We call all of these things here on these white index cards that I wrote down, we call them variables. Okay, these are variables. Okay. The variables that are the same, right? Like the number of seeds in the soil, the equal sunlight, the 125 milliliters of soil, we call those constant variables or controlled variables because I'm controlling that. Now remember, the experiment is to test plant growth. Obviously, we're going to try to grow some plants. We're dealing with seeds. We're talking about water. We're talking about sunlight. Okay. So these variables are constant, okay, or controlled. These are called constant or controlled variables. Okay. So vocab number 1, constant or controlled variables. It's all of the variables that are same between the two beakers of soil, the 2 seeds. Okay. Next, let's talk about the independent variable. The independent variable. The independent variable is the one thing that is different from all of the other variables. So I'm going to give you a couple seconds to take a look at all the variables for each of these containers. And then I want you to tell me what variable is different between the 2. Go ahead, I'll wait. Okay, what'd you come up with? If you said that the one variable that was different was the amount of water, 5 milliliters of water, this one gets, 25 milliliters of water, this one gets, you are correct. We call that the independent variable. It's the variable that is different from the rest. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, now let's talk about dependent variable. What is a dependent variable? A dependent variable is the variable that is being measured. So looking at this setup that we have here and remembering what I said earlier, what is this experiment about? Go ahead and I'll wait. You think about it. What are we trying to test or experiment here? I told you that a couple different times earlier in this video. I told you we were measuring plant growth or plant height. Okay, that is the dependent variable. The dependent variable is the variable that is being measured. Well, we're measuring plant growth or plant height. Okay, so we say in a scientific experiment that the dependent variable is the variable that is being measured, and in our case, we're trying to measure plant growth. Okay, Austin, this is where I want to stop here. Okay, so what I'm going to do for you now is I now want you to watch this video, okay, and then fill in the sheet that I give you with the definitions of what I just talked about. So if that means you got to watch this video a couple times, do it, buddy. Okay, any questions, email me. Be in touch.